Right guys, back with another video. Today's video is a recap of the 22nd. Haven't uploaded since the 17th. Again, I have been going on. I go on every day. I just don't get a trade every day. That's the issue. Friday was actually not that bad of a day, but I just went on at a bad time, I think. And was looking at a bad time, and I had to go out and do a few things afterwards, so I didn't get to go on any longer. Obviously the weekend was then, and then yesterday the market was really horrible. I went on yesterday and I was about to take a trade. I was literally about to put a buy order in to get a trade, and we were literally about a second and a half before I ended it. The market just absolutely dumped down like 40 points out of nowhere for no reason. There was no news happening, nothing happened. I checked Twitter, I checked Financial Juice, everything, nothing had happened. So it literally just did a move which was absolutely huge in comparison to obviously the normal moves, and it was literally like it would have just absolutely wrecked me. Like I would have I would have only got stopped out on the trade if I'd have got in. But the issue is, if I'd have got in and hadn't put my stop loss on in time, I would have been down on that trade 40 points, which obviously is $800. Which I would have sat there and absolutely panicked to shit because I wouldn't know how the fuck to manage that now. Because if I'm down $800, it depends on what's happening. Usually it will go back to where it was, which it did. It did end up going back up. It was just a little quick, I'm guessing like a massive move in the market of stops getting around and stuff. But you know, that's the way it is. I'll talk about today's trade. Today's trade, you'll see it playing out in the background. I sat on my computer for a long time today. Not even necessarily sat on my computer. I was just waiting for this trade to fill out and work out for absolutely ages. I wanted this setup to come. I almost got long at the pivot up at the 80s, but I was like, I'm not going to take that because I don't think that's a very smart trade. The risk to reward on this is very bad. I want to wait for a better setup I actually like. I did like the setup of getting along at 50, about 60, 65, but because obviously the way the market was trending with the wicks, but I was like, I'm going to wait for my perfect setup. If I don't get the perfect setup, I'm not going to take it. There's a lot going on right now in the world where taking bad setups and setups that aren't perfect near enough to me, or at least A setups, are not setups I want to be taking. There's a lot going on. Obviously, there's an election in the US. A lot of stuff going on elsewhere. I won't really go into anything, but there's a lot of stuff going on elsewhere in the world that is dictating the markets quite a bit, in my opinion, and they are jumping the markets a lot sometimes, which is not ideal and not very fun to trade, which is why I am being a bit more hesitant than usual. But because to me at least, not taking a trade is still trading, and it is better than sitting there and taking a trade and losing. So I waited for my perfect setup. I was happy with entry at about 55, and my stop would have been below the previous wick that went down to test, or try to test pivot. VWAP. We'll say. So that was my setup. I thought it was a pretty good setup. I was risking about 8 points to make. I think I made 11 points, so it's just a pretty good risk to reward for me. That's good for me. I'm happy with that. I let the trade play out. I was tempted to move break even at one point. We did get a move up pretty quickly after I entered on the trade, where I was very tempted to move break even quite quickly, just to be safe, just to lock in and make sure it doesn't go bad, doesn't go red against me. But I was like, look, the risk to reward is so decent on this trade. It's very high probability. I want to try and let this play and see what happens. My take profit was at a point where I felt was very probable that we would go back up and touch. It's just a case of would I get wicked out before that happens. Thankfully for me, that didn't happen. It went straight, well not straight, it went up. We had a lot of sort of choppy up and down around the 60 to 55 range, which I was getting a bit. Maybe I'll just take this off because but to me, when it's not going through, if it was below the VWAP, if we were chopping around at like 50 to 55 or like around 50, and we were just sort of, I just wasn't getting stopped, I probably would be a lot more willing to just take off. I mean, I wouldn't because I'm so close to my stop at that point, but that would be an idea to me that we are not going to move back up because we are below VWAP. We're below VWAP. The whole time though, we were above VWAP. We didn't really go below VWAP besides like maybe a couple touches of it. Just to test and see if we go through. Then we also had middle price, which I don't know how much anyone pays attention to that, but middle price on Nasdaq was 52.13 at the time I was trading. So again, that's going to act as a resistance. Whether it does or doesn't, it's still mentally for me tick the box. VWAP obviously was the main one, and just the wicks have been going on recently. The last 2 weeks at wick down, we were in that sort of range where we have been moving back up, and we have moved back quite nicely. So for me, if I was a bit more confident with this trade, I would have actually let this trade play out a bit more. I would have let it sit there and we maybe see if we get the move back up to the 80s, but or at least like 70, 80, 75, something like that. But for me, with the way that my accounts are right now, I need to lock in my profits. I can't let a trade like this go from being $300 profit to stopped out or even break even. I need to sit there and lock in the profits because I need to try and get my way back up to a comfortable drawdown. For me, a comfortable drawdown is anything when I start getting over $2,000 or at least $1,800. Obviously, the trade does play out, goes in my favor, and I do get my full fill. I don't know how quick when you guys are going to see this because I haven't edited the video yet, but the fill does happen. Gives me a profit on the accounts of I believe about I'm thinking about $115 on the day, $215 on the day. My main account is at I think $1,570, $80, something like that, and then my other account is just over $1,000 now. I think $1,020. So that's good for me. I'm in a very healthy position now, in my opinion. Maybe not perfect, but I'm definitely in a healthier position, especially when I'm trading, taking a lot more safe trades and safe trades only. It's one of them for me where I just want to sit there and lock in days at the minute. I'm not trading loads this month so far. I've actually only really traded 1, 2, 3, 4 days so far. Took trades on 4 days so far. I've got on every single day, just to be clear. But I've only took 4 trades, which is not too bad at all. We just need to sit there and keep going. Maybe I'll take another trade or two the end of the month. You never know. I might get the rest of this week might be a really nice week for trading. I'll take 3 more trades. You never know. But we will see how it goes. We're not going to be too picky with how we take trades and so on. But we'll see from that. Okay, I'm going to end the video here. If you guys enjoyed the video, please like, comment, subscribe. And all being well, I'll be back this week, maybe. If not, worst case, next week. Okay, see you.